Ooh, this one's going to be a lot to talk about. This one is definitely going to create a ton of discussion, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Guys, what's going on? This is a Club Demand 1993. Let's do this. This is the 60th edition of WWE Turn Alert, and we're going to talk about a turn that may not have been a good idea for this superstar. It's a women's wrestler, of course, we all know. She's loved, and the fans wanted to see her succeed. But obviously, she was robbed big time this Sunday at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch. So let's put it this way: Becky Lynch, no doubt about it, not including the women's division, but the entire company, I feel, has been one of the most underutilized superstars over the past several years, especially once she dropped her SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Like, if it wasn't for the brand split, Becky Lynch probably would have never been champion. She probably would not have. Of course, I've mentioned this how many times before. There were rumors that apparently in 2016, when Natalya turned heel on Becky Lynch and Money in the Bank, originally it was supposed to be Becky. Apparently, they were looking for another big, heel in the women's division, and they first were going to go with Becky. But I believe that the thought was that around the time there was thoughts of Natalya possibly leaving, because that was around the time where I think Tyson Kidd was about to call it quits on his career due to his neck injury. So Natty wanted to spend more time with him, but that wasn't the case, as Natty is still around. But they went with Natty instead of Becky at that time. So that was put on hold, and it didn't seem like there was any plans to turn Becky heel until recently. So Becky Lynch has finally been on a winning streak, getting the momentum going ever since her build to Money in the Bank. And then, July, she was winning and winning and winning, and finally she claimed that she felt she deserved her rightful place back on top of the SmackDown Live Women's Division, the division she felt that she was putting on the map, which, truth be told, yes, she not only was she the first SmackDown Live Women's Champion, but she was also the first women's wrestler to be drafted to SmackDown Live in the 2016 draft. So Becky, obviously got her opportunity after she beat Carmella in one-on-one action. But in the following week, when Charlotte returned after being out for about a handful of weeks after she had surgery on a ruptured implant, she returned to save Becky. And then, since Carmella's complaint or something, I can't remember whatever happened was, all of a sudden Paige decides to give Charlotte an opportunity to face Carmella to prove that Charlotte can beat Carmella, which is obvious anybody can beat Carmella. The way they're booking Carmella as SmackDown Live Women's Champion, and if Charlotte won, she would get added to the Women's Championship match. Obviously, that raised some concern for Becky. She wanted to be one-on-one with Carmella, which I felt should have been the case because, with the history that Becky and Carmella have, especially with how many times James Ellsworth robbed Becky Lynch for Carmella's benefit over the years. But, again, like Charlotte, already came off this momentum of, being the one to beat Asuka and end her undefeated streak. And, she'd already, feuded with Carmella, so it was nothing fresh to begin with. So, obviously, with Evolution coming up, obviously, I think they were trying to set up for a Becky Lynch and Charlotte feud for that pay-per-view. And obviously, when Charlotte was added to the match, Becky seemed a little concerned because of the fact now her odds have dropped even lower. This is supposed to be her moment. Now, her best friend is sharing that opportunity with her as well. And of course, the past week we've shown that, Becky's seems to be a little more focused on herself and not being as friendly towards Charlotte and whatnot. But at the same time, look at the reality here. Us fans have been waiting to see Becky, get back on top of the SmackDown Live Women's Division, get that opportunity that she most dearly deserves. The fans love her and do not like the fact that Charlotte is getting an opportunity as well, because Charlotte doesn't need it right now. So I just had that bad feeling. I had that really, really, really bad feeling they were going to do this. So this Sunday, what happens? It may look like Becky Lynch was going to win the match, but then Charlotte goes out of nowhere, hits natural selection on Becky. Keep in mind, Carmella was able to kick out natural selection, but Becky Lynch was not. Becky wins. Afterwards, they embrace twice before Becky just slaps Charlotte right across the face, and just beats the crap out of her and just walks away. Then Becky came out tonight. Now, before I waited till after tonight to hear what Becky had to say, because in my reality, I'm thinking, okay, there's no way for anyone to get us to hate Becky Lynch. We felt she was robbed in general. We were not happy. Nobody was cheering after Charlotte won until Becky attacked her. That's when everyone started cheering. Becky came out and stated that truth, how, she felt that SummerSlam was her moment, and then Charlotte, came in, and she claims that she felt like all she's been is Charlotte's best friend. And then she starts questioning whether or not the fans really have been behind her all this time. Claiming there was no hashtag trending for Becky Lynch. But at the same time, Becky, we were cheering as soon as you started the beatdown. We've been wanting to see you voicing your opinion, to saying that Becky Lynch deserves some more opportunities instead of the same women getting the same opportunities all the time. No offense to people like, Charlotte or Alexa or Carmella, they're good in their own terms, but Becky Lynch has been overlooked for how long now, and this should have been her moment. And of course, Charlotte, feeling, she always want to be on top, can easily play the role being the heel. And I get, we've already done a Charlotte and Becky feud. I get, want to do something fresh, reverse the roles. Not the right time, though. The momentum was right there for Becky Lynch for us to want to see her, this made Becky Lynch the female Daniel Bryan pretty much. That's what this all is. But now that Becky is all of a sudden going to say that, oh, you guys never really were behind me, so I'm going to do things on my own terms, and only I'm the one who says I'm the best. Like, that part of her promo just felt forced. It's like, they're forcing us to dislike Becky. No, literally. Would we be able to dislike Stone Cold Steve Austin after his match at WrestleMania 13? No way. There's no way you could ever get someone to hate Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even if when they did turn him heel, it was not possible. That's the same case here with Becky Lynch. This heel turn is not going to work in the long run. It really is not. That's why I really think eventually down the line, they need to pull off a double turn. And it's just very simple. Obviously, Becky needs to realize, hey, the crowd really is behind me after all. And, Charlotte's going to catch up on that and feel, betrayed. The fact that all she's accomplished, and she feels she has to respect that deserves, but then they're going to give Becky Lynch the respect instead. It's a simple philosophy there. It should be all the way around. That way Becky can be the one, they could have a match at Hell in a Cell, because we are having the rematch between Charlotte and Carmella next week on SmackDown, which I'm glad, because after seeing how bad the match was at Backlash, I don't want to see the match again on pay-per-view. So maybe Becky and Charlotte go at it inside Hell in a Cell. And then at Evolution, I'd like to see that be the main event, but it probably won't be the main event. But yeah, so not sure if this is a good idea. Again, no matter what they do, they can't get me to hate Becky Lynch. They cannot. And I don't think this is going to be a long-term heel run. It can't be. So that's basically my thoughts. A double turn should happen soon. Put Becky back as a babyface and Charlotte the heel, because Charlotte obviously thrives more and is more interesting as a heel. I mean, I don't hate Charlotte. She definitely deserves, the success she's had, being now a 7-time champion and whatnot. She deserves those accomplishments. Again, I was cool with her being the one to dethrone Asuka and really solidify herself as one of the greatest of all time. However, this obviously was Becky's moment, and she stole the moment. But the WWE expects us to want to cheer for her and not Becky. Again, Becky's actions are understandable. She's frustrated. At some point, she was going to snap, because she can't just keep saying, oh, my time will come. My time comes, be patient. No, 2 years is long enough to stay patient. Her snapping on Charlotte was necessary. Her being the villain, though, in this, she's the victim. So the roles need to reverse and do the double turn at some sorts. So that's my thoughts, though, being more elaborate, because I know I talked about this in my SmackDown Live review, but that is my thoughts on Becky Lynch apparently not being a heel. So what are your thoughts on Becky Lynch's heel turn? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, as always, and be sure as always to click buy, like, and subscribe when we're coming to this channel, and follow me on Twitter as well at TheManAirBrand93. As always, guys, please stay tuned for more WWE Turn Alert.